All right, Shalom. This is your brother Yonathan. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Makar Kadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And I want to say Shalom to all the brothers and, of course, the few sisters who are pursuing this truth in sincerity. All right, may the blessing of election be upon your house. Today we're going to talk about the justice for the nation of Israel and the judgment for all those that are opposers to the nation of Israel. And you go to Psalms, the 83rd chapter, I believe. Let me double check that. Psalms 83. It lists off all the nations that are in opposition to the children of Israel. Psalms 83. Correct. Yes, it does. Starting from verse 6 on down. Okay. Now we go back to Psalms. Where was I? 9. Go back to Psalms 9. And it talks about, the rejoicing that we're going to have. The joy that, justice is served to us. Because right now, you have our people marching, talking about their lives matter, which is the most docile and low thing that you can be chanting. But our people have not received justice, especially in this captivity, this last captivity, the revised Roman Empire here in Babylon the Great, which is America. All right. Now we're in Psalms 9, and we'll start at verse 3. It says, "When mine enemies are turned back, they shall fall and perish at thy presence." Now we know when we go to I believe it was the second Ezra. Is it 13 or 16? It talks about when the Lord comes back in the midst of World War III, when all the nations are gathered up, and they're going to turn to fight against the Lord. And when you enlist in the military, that's ultimately what you're signing up for, to fight against the Lord, the second coming. But it talks about how they're all going to be, destroyed upon his presence, man. And it even illustrates the effortlessness in which it's going to take place. Let me just go get it really quick. It sounds crazy to people when we say it, but it's the truth. Yeah, 2nd Ezra 13th chapter. All right, so when you go to Joel 3 as well, it talks about the gathering of the nations in the valley of Jehoshaphat. It even gives you a location, right? But here in 2nd Ezra 13, it talks about the conclusion of that great battle over there. Okay, and we're going to start at we're just going to start at the top here. Sorry. Yeah, so you start at the top, it's 2nd Ezra 13 and 1. It reads, it said, "And it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night. And lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the waves thereof." And just so you know, the skies can be referred to as waters or as the sea as well. Okay, now verse 3 it says, "And I beheld, and lo, that a man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven." This is the Lord coming back with his fleet of chariots, man. "They that be with us are greater than they that be with them." You know what I mean? We have an angelic army in the heavens. All right, we have angelic forces backing us up, so we have nothing to fear from this devil and his armies and his troops and his agents. Okay? When he turned, his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. People are literally going to be trembling in their spirit, but also as the chariots are breaking into the atmosphere, the earth is going to be trembling, man. Things are going to tremble beneath him. Okay? Verse 4, and whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, because the chariots shoot out concentrated heat, concentrated fire. All right? And America, Babylon the Great, is going to be burned with the concentrated fire as well. It's going to be burned by the thermonuclear missiles, but the chariots are going to be getting busy as well. All right? That same concentrated heat that rained down upon Sodom and Gomorrah. Like as the earth faileth when it filleth the fire. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of the number from the four winds of heaven, to subdue the man that came out of the sea, the skies. All right? But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain, and flew upon it. That mountain is talking about a chariot. Ezra just couldn't even see where it began or ended, because it was so big, that great fathership. Okay? But I would have seen the reason or place whereabout the hill was graven, and I could not. And there you go. Verse 8. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they that were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet there's fight. The nations are going to be afraid. You know, think about that. You're on the battlefield and you see this chariot, all right, bigger than you could, further, wider than the eye can see, burning stuff up, man. They're going to be afraid, but the Lord's going to put the Spirit on them to fight back. Okay? Verse 9, and lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. And this is illustrating here in verse 9 the effortlessness in which it'll take for the Lord to decimate these armies. Verse 10, it says, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth, as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. Okay? Verse 11, and they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and the smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. So yeah, man, effortlessness, and they're all going to be decimated and destroyed. Okay, so we're going to be rejoicing at this, but this is the judgment of the nations on one hand, and justice for us, because all these nations played a part in our affliction. All right, so now let's go back to Psalms, the 9th chapter. Okay, Psalms 9, and we'll pick back up at actually listen to the blue letter, because I'm pretty sure when you read it in the NLT, it's probably some good stuff in there. So this is Psalms 9, and we'll pick back up at verse 3 where we left off. And it says this, it says, when mine enemies are turned back, they shall fall and perish at thy presence. For thou hast maintained my right and my cause. Thou sattest in the throne, judging right. And when you read it in the NLT for verse 4, it says what? For you have judged in my favor, from your throne you have judged with fairness. And then we jump back over to KJV in verse 5. It says, thou hast rebuked the heathen, thou hast destroyed the wicked, thou hast put out their name forever and ever. So we're going to be judging in righteousness, okay? Although there's going to be judgment for the nations, justice is going to go out, and eventually, like it says in Proverbs 29:2, when the righteous are in authority, the people are going to be rejoicing. Hold on really quick, guys. What's going on, man? Daddy, I'm doing a lesson right now. You can shoot just like always. You okay? Hey, you okay? All right. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Yeah. Righteous judgment is going to go out upon the earth. So, as they're building up our kingdom, because he's going to build up our kingdom for a 1,000-year period. After that, they've seen what it's like to live in righteousness. They've been constantly rebuked, and they've been taught the right way and left off from all their other ways. Peace, rejoicing is going to be upon the earth, not just for us, but for everybody. That's when, all those lofty terms will be established that people talk about nowadays. Oh, world peace and ending world. Those things are going to be ended. But it's a certain way you get to that, all right? And that's through the nation of Israel being sitting upon the throne, man. Let's go to verse 6. Okay, it reads, and in verse 5 it says he's going to, they're never again going to rise into power. All right. See, and you read it in the NLTO on the right side in verse 5. It says, you have rebuked the nations and destroyed the wicked. All right, so we rebuked the nations and we destroyed the wicked. The wicked, there's a nation called the wicked as well, which is Esau, Edom. That's our arch nemesis. All right, the so-called white man. Now, verse 6, it says what? O thou enemy, destructions are come to a perpetual end, and thou hast destroyed cities. Their memorial is perished with them. All right, they're not going to come back into power. They're not going to be building up a rulership and be over us ever again. That's never going to happen. Okay. Now, verse 7, it says, but the Lord shall endure forever. He has prepared his throne for judgment, and he shall judge the world in righteousness He shall minister judgment to the people in uprightness. And the elect of Israel, Lord willing, we're a part of that number. The men that are teaching in sincerity, right? We're going to get to partake in that, man. It said you should sit on 12 thrones judging the 12 tribes of Israel, okay? So, it's going to be a beautiful thing to have that position in the kingdom, man. And we're not going to fuck it up because the laws are going to be written within our inward parts, you see? So, continuing on, verse 9, it says, the Lord also will be a refuge for the oppressed, a refuge in times of trouble. And they shall know thy name will put their trust in thee. For thou, the Lord, hast not forsaken them that seek thee. Okay? And all the nations are going to serve the God of Israel. Okay? But there's going to be a nation that is in fact blessed above all nations, and that's going to be us. We're going to be the only nation of people that have the laws written within our inward parts, that can't sin, that are incapable of going off, right? The only nation of people that are going to be immortal. Everybody else is still going to perish, is still going to grow old and all of that. But the nation of Israelites, man, that's not going to be so. We're going to be given a different type of earthly vessel to dwell in. All right? Yeah, man. Those that get to partake, in witnessing this and seeing it the first go around, man, that's one of the highest privileges. You understand? So, what do you got to do that that your praise is in the right place? And when I say praise, I'm talking about you're worshiping the Lord with the whole heart. You're being a doer of the word and not a hearer only, man. You're exhibiting faith. All right? And to truly exhibit faith is going to come with actions as well. All right? So what do you got to ask yourself, what do you need to do to shift your praise from half-hearted praise to focused, wholehearted praise? Okay? You need to eliminate particular things so that you can have time to focus. Even me, like when I'm at work and I'm driving the truck, I got the I know everybody does this. They have the lessons playing. They listen in the commentaries. They listen to things in the Hebrew. You get off, you make your lesson. You know what I mean? You get some scriptures together, you make your lessons, and you're acting it out within your conversation, within your conduct throughout the day. You're acting out, the decrees from the Lord, man. You're judging righteous judgment. All right. So just a quick lesson for you guys. Lord willing, and with edifying, I want to give all praises once more to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem HaKadosh. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. I want to say shalom to all the brothers and, of course, the few sisters who are pursuing this truth and sincerity. All right. May the blessing of election be upon your house. All right. Shalom.